Everyone, this is it right here. The smallest, the easiest home sleep study on earth. I'm going to explain everything about this, how it works, why you might need it, all in this video right here. So if you happen to be someone who has never been diagnosed with sleep apnea, stay on this video. If you know someone who snores, if you know someone who has a large neck, a large tongue, somebody that wakes up consistently in the morning with headaches, if you know someone that also just stops breathing while they're sleeping, any of these and more would be a very good sign that possibly you may have sleep apnea. So share this video with your friends who you think might possibly have sleep apnea. If there's a loved one, a family member, or if it may be you that think you might have sleep apnea, this home sleep study is the brand new technology that allows you to actually get a sleep study in the comfort of your own home. It's super accurate. It's FDA approved. It's DOT approved for those of you who drive trucks, the truckers. All truckers have to have a health analysis on an annual basis, and also before they start their job to make sure that they don't have sleep apnea. If they do have sleep apnea, then they're going to need to use either CPAP or a dental device to take care of that for obvious reasons. We all drive on the road. We don't want our truckers falling asleep while they're driving. And so what I want to do is we're going to just go over this one step at a time. The first thing I want to do is let you know that outside of CPAP or a dental device, I have discovered an item that you might want to buy if you want to get absolutely the very best sleep you've ever had in your life. This device, I'm about to put it on the screen. You tell me if you think this is something that would get you some better sleep. Anybody remember those days back in the day? I know me personally, I have slept so good. Just joking. Of course, you probably don't want to buy a school desk to get better sleep, but stick with us in this video and I'm going to show you how you can get the best sleep of your life. Welcome everyone. My name is Chris. I'm with AffinityHM.com. Also, we're going to have a giveaway a little later on in this video. If you would just look across the bottom of the screen, no matter where you are, whatever platform you happen to be on right now, if you just comment hashtag home sleep study, do it with no spaces. I know it's a little bit of a challenge. It is for me to type 3 words with no spaces, but home sleep study, you'll automatically be entered into a drawing that we're going to do a little later on for a gift card to AffinityHM.com. So everybody please comment. Also, I really am curious as to where you're watching from. If you would tell me what city or what state you're watching the video from. And if you don't want to put that detail of an information, at least tell me what time zone you're watching from. I would love to know that. So talking about sleep studies, you know, sleep studies in the past were always done in a lab. And in this little cartoon picture, the lady is saying to the gentleman sleeping there, just sleep normally. You know, there are lab technicians watching, there's cameras, there are electrodes absolutely everywhere in the hospitalized or the sleep lab, the standard or traditional type of sleep lab. That's a kind of a joke, but it has a lot of truth to it. But this is an actual picture right here of a gentleman who had to get a sleep study. And he is literally in a hospital lab environment. And even today, this is very much what it would look like if you did have to go to the lab. And that's what I'm so excited about with this new technology. All of this is not actually necessary all of the time. There indeed are some cases where an in the lab sleep study would be required. That's for the doctor to decide if the home sleep study is going to be adequate or if the lab sleep study would be required. So we have a process to determine that, and most people will be able to actually get the home sleep study, and I'm super excited about that. But in the beginning, and even still today, this is pretty much what a home sleep study this is what a lab sleep study would look like. Now, years ago, I would say approximately 10 years ago is whenever the home sleep studies first began. And even today, this is still what many companies are providing as a home sleep study. And again, there are some situations where this particular device would be required. You can see the gentleman is doing the sleep study in his home. He has a nasal cannula in his nose. He's got a deal on his finger and also a deal wrapped around his chest that's measuring his actual chest movements and the breathing. And so you would see that quite often. But here is what I am so excited about. Now, this, this takes the place of all of this, you guys. This right here. It is a home sleep study. This is actually available if you look in the description, and you will see that on affinityhm.com, there are some links to the home sleep study. And what one could do is first, it is something that must be ordered by a physician. So you can't just, say, hey, Chris, I want to get one of those. What you would need to do is actually sign up with Doc Via Web. And with Doc Via Web, you actually would meet with a physician online. And after meeting with the physician online, the doctor would determine through that meeting as to whether or not a sleep study would be appropriate for you. And if the doctor or the nurse practitioner who you talk to decide you need a home sleep study, the next step would be they would actually mail you out a kit that has this particular device in it and with a lot of instructions. It's very, very simple to use. There is an app that you would download on your phone. All of the instructions come with it. And I'm going to show you all of that as well here in just a few minutes. But you get all of the instructions, download the app, you get the little home sleep study device, and it actually works. So what I want to do now is kind of get into a little bit of detail on exactly how is it even possible for something so small and something so simple, no electrodes on your head, no wires, et cetera, et cetera. How can it possibly be able to get the information that all of that other would? Well, this is where the technology comes into play. So how does the night owl sleep study work? The system consists of a sensor placed on the fingertip and a cloud-based analytics software. The sensor requires accelerometer and photoplethysmographic data. Sorry, you guys, that's a bit of a word. Photoplethysmographic data is really like pulse oximeter, measuring oxygen levels and such as that. The software derives actigraphy from the former and blood oxygen saturation and peripheral artery tone, among other features, from the latter. So let's break that down a little bit. Actigraphy is, people that have these watches, and the watch is able to tell them kind of how many hours they slept, etc. Well, actigraphy is within those watches as well. To put it simply, the actigraphy part of it is really just measuring and monitoring your movement. Are you moving or are you still? And they have learned through science and studies that looking at actigraphy can really tell them when you're asleep and when you're awake, especially when it is put into place with all of this other information that they have. The photoplasmography, or PPG, is a simple optical technique for detecting the volumetric changes in blood and peripheral circulation. It is a low-cost and non-invasive method, skin surface measurements. So basically, what this little device is doing is, one, it's got your oxygen saturation. Two, it's measuring the volume of blood, and that's key, the volume of blood that's going through these peripheral arteries. And while at the same time, it's measuring your movement and do you move or not. So with all of this data collected together, it's actually able to get enough information to know whether or not you're awake, whether or not you're asleep, whether or not you're having apneas and hypopneas, whether or not your breathing is stopping, everything that actual sleep study would be able to acquire in that information. So let's look at some definitions here. Actigraphy is a non-invasive method of monitoring sleep patterns and circadian rhythms. The movements the actigraph unit undergoes are continually recorded. So the phone app comes into play after that, in the sense of all of the data is recorded, and after that data is recorded, it transfers over by Bluetooth to the phone app. Then the sleep physicians, the board certified sleep physicians with this group, are able to read this information. Now, how is a home sleep study in a way even better than the sleep lab study? Well, in the sleep lab, you're probably going to have 2 nights of testing. You would have the first night of testing with no CPAP, and they would determine whether or not you have sleep apnea. And then the second night, they actually put you on CPAP if you need it, CPAP or a BiPAP. And in the second night, they're sort of looking for the best pressure or where to set the machine pressure. So maximum 2 nights in a sleep lab. Well, with this system, it can record for several nights or even more. It would be up to the physician or the nurse practitioner that's ordering it for you for how many nights. Plus, they can move and tweak that or change that based on the data that they're receiving. There are many studies that show that 1 night of monitoring for sleep apnea is not really giving you all of the data that you need, because we're humans and things change night after night. So we need several nights, maybe 4 nights, and perhaps even more than that, to really know what's going on when you sleep. So that's one way that it's actually even better than a sleep lab. In addition, you're sleeping in your own environment, and we all know that if you're sleeping at your house in your bed, it's definitely going to be more real, and more real and like what your normal sleep patterns would be like. So I'm super excited about it, and I'd love to know what you guys have to think about it. So if you would, please type into comments hashtag home sleep study, all one word, and you're going to be in this contest that we're going to do here in just a few minutes. So would you guys like to actually see the unit a little closer? What I'm going to do is, let's do actually the product demo. Again, in the description, you'll be able to look in that description later, and there's several links that will take you right to our website so that you can see exactly how you would sign up for this. First, again, it's the meeting with the doctor online. Second, if needed, the home sleep study comes to you. Third, you do your home sleep study. And then finally, if it's determined that you need either a dental appliance or a CPAP or a BiPAP machine, that would be ordered for you. And so this is it right here. They call it the Night Owl. And I've been promising you guys that I was going to show you something about this big that will blow your mind. Is anybody impressed with the size of this? This is, on one side it's white, on the other side is actually, you see that little window? That's where it's able to actually look at your, like a pulse oximeter would. And there's a tiny little button. You see the circular little blue button? Let me see if I can get this a little closer. That button is a simple button, but it is used to actually pair this device with the phone app that you would download. All of the instructions for doing so come in the packet with it. So detailed instructions, makes it super simple. You get the device, and then you also get a nice little set of these. They're almost like Band-Aids, but they are far stickier than Band-Aids. I'm actually going to put this on for you. Let me just take one of these little adhesive strips here. I'm going to peel off just one side of the adhesive strip. All right. I hope everybody's getting in this contest. Let's see. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope y'all are having a nice evening. Spring has sprung down here in South Alabama, by the way. It's actually pretty warm today. I went around without a sweater on for the first time in quite some time. So it's important that you get the adhesive and you put it onto the back or the white side. I put the adhesive over on the white side. And now I'm going to place my finger, and you're going to want it so that the tip of your finger and the top edge of the device is about even, roughly. And again, make sure that it's the side with the window that's facing your finger. And once you get that in place, you can remove the other part, the other backing, and then just simply wrap it. You don't want to wrap it too tight, but at the same time, you do want to wrap it tight enough so that it's not going to fall off as you're sleeping. You don't want to wrap it so tight that it's impeding the flow of the blood through your finger or causing it to throb or anything like that. But that's how simple it is right there. You simply pair it with your device, wrap it onto your finger, and then go to sleep. Now, in the app, also there is some information that you have to put into the app each night when you go to sleep, and again whenever you wake up in the morning. You're sort of telling it, I'm about to go to sleep now, and when you wake up in the morning, hey, I'm awake now. And that helps with the data that's being collected, so that when the doctor's reading it, they have some really clear data on when you go to bed and when you wake up. But this is literally all that there is to it, and it's simple. Also, now, I know that many of you are thinking, hey, what's the cost on this? Is this like super expensive? Is it gonna bust my wallet? Here's the whole story on that part of it. One is you will have to pay for the doc visit online. That would be either $75 if you choose a nurse practitioner, or $95 if you choose a sleep doctor. So that would simply be your choice. You have to pay for that. That's not going to be billed to your insurance. Step number two, if the doctor decides that you need a sleep study, then that through our system will be billed to your insurance. Almost every insurance is on this list. I mean, this list is huge. So we're talking Medicare, Blue Cross, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of the insurances, for the most part, that I'm aware of, are on the list. So that's going to be billed to your insurance, and it runs around $225. If you didn't want it billed to the insurance, you wanted to just pay for it yourself, then of course you could do that if you wish. Once all of that's done and the sleep study is complete, if it's determined that you need a dental device or a CPAP machine, you in the end get a prescription. You then, with that prescription, can come to AffinityHM.com, get a CPAP, or you could go down the street to a local provider and get a CPAP or a BiPAP or a dental device, whatever might be needed. So that's pretty much the whole story that I have for you guys. Does anyone have any questions? If you have questions, go ahead and type them in right now. We're going to do the giveaway here real fast, and then after the giveaway, I'll go through the questions and try to answer them to the best of my ability. All right, so let's see here. It is giveaway time. So if you haven't done it already, hashtag home sleep study, one word, no spaces, home sleep study, into the comments, regardless of where you are. And while we're waiting on that, I want to invite everyone to join our Facebook group. It's titled CPAP for Beginners. CPAP for Beginners. Whether you're a beginner or a savvy CPAP user, been using it for years, please join the group. I'm seeing so many questions, really great questions, and just a kind-heartedness in that group that I really love and appreciate. And thank you for everyone that's in the group already for all of the comments and answering of the questions that you've been doing. It's very much appreciated by not only me, but by the people who are out there seeking some answers. It's harder to find answers these days, and that's why we created the group, in order that people would have others who can help them. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. All right, so now let's see. Let's go ahead and share this screen so that you can see the actual winner being chosen here. And if you haven't done it yet, you've got about 10 seconds to get into the contest. All right, I hope that it's working tonight. Are you able to see this on your screen? Hey, it's working. All right, so we have a few people in the drawing. Let's see who is going to win the gift card tonight. I'm going to hit draw, and the winner of the AffinityHM.com gift card tonight is Kimberly Iman. Congratulations, Kimberly. You have won the gift card. That is awesome. All right. I appreciate you being here, Kimberly. Thank you very, very much. All right. So there we go. Kimberly, if you would email me or message me and let me know that you won the contest, and I'll be sure to send you your gift card on tomorrow. All right, let's see if we have any questions here. All right, rolling back here through the questions. Hi, Sanook Weather. How you doing? Good to see you. Hi, Belty Cat. I see Kimberly obviously is here. Loretta, hello, Loretta. And Judy is here. Hi, Judy. Hope you're doing well. And Diane is here. All right. Sanook is from North Carolina. Judy's from Pennsylvania, Missouri. All right, that's awesome. All right, we got a question here from Belty Cat. Can this device determine the pressure that is needed on a CPAP machine and how? Wow, what a great question. Okay, so let's say you're already on CPAP and you really just want to know, is the pressure right? You could still do a sleep study. The first step would be actually to do the doc via web, talk to the doctor about it. Let them know that you want to use the CPAP during the sleep study. What would need to happen is the the sleep study could be looked at in tandem with the if you have an auto machine, for example, you have an auto machine that's set at maybe 4 and 20. And the CPAP, the sleep study could be looked at tandem over a timeline along with the actual pressure of the CPAP to determine, or night after night, the pressure could be changed to determine which pressure works best for you. So from my perspective, I would say yes, it might take a little bit of scientific maneuvering to make it happen, but it would tell you as to whether or not you're having apneas and hypopneas while you're using the CPAP. Absolutely. There may be some folks who use CPAP. Maybe they've had some changes in their lifestyle. Maybe they've lost some weight and are curious. Hey, do I even really need the CPAP still? Well, you could use your CPAP, do the sleep study, and or actually go without your CPAP and do the home sleep study and determine you don't need it anymore. So that's a possibility as well. Always through a doctor's prescription, though, of course. Great question. Thank you, Belty. Um, Then another point, I've never liked the split night sleep studies. Yeah, the split night sleep studies. For those of you who don't know what that is, all of you severe people know what that is. A split night is how I described earlier. Your first night would be at a sleep lab. It would be without CPAP, right? Well, if in that study you're having these massive amounts of apneas and maybe turning blue and you're scaring the sleep technician enough, then they're going to go ahead and wake you up halfway through the night and say, look, this apnea is too bad. I don't want you to experience that anymore. We're going to go ahead and put you on the CPAP now. And they will do that. And it happens more often than you think. They go ahead and put the patient on the CPAP and that's it. So it's just one night, you got your CPAP and you're done. So that's good in one respect, that obviously we don't want to see people, suffering and having that many apneas. It's very dangerous. Uh, on the other hand, we don't have all that much data, and that's probably why you don't really like them, because you don't have that much data, neither on the front end diagnosing it nor on the back end of setting the pressure. So, okay, more people entering the contest. That's right. That's right, Belty. You don't believe they get enough information. I agree. All right. Yeah, the Facebook group definitely has a lot of good information from experienced CPAP users. Absolutely. All right, you guys. I believe that is all the questions that we had for tonight. So if you're interested in this, just go look in the description. There's a link there that takes you to the website and explains everything in detail. If you are not the one that needs this, definitely please just share this out into the communities. Let people know that now a home sleep study is super, super easy to do. It's super accurate. It's as accurate. As a matter of fact, I put a link. The government did a study to determine, the efficacy of the night owl sleep study in particular, and it's accurate. It's going to give the information that's needed to A, determine if you have sleep apnea, and B, uh, the system will actually go all the way through the whole process, not just diagnosing it, but also getting you a prescription for the treatment that you need. So here's to better sleep and better health, you guys. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the evening. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. I appreciate it very much. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a good night. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.